Hello and welcome to round 5 of the JGTC. We are back live after a hiccup. I think we were live for about a minute or two and then had a weird PSN issue that took me out, but I'm back now. Hello. I think we just missed the first stuck check. Not sure that anyone got stuck. Probably not. Lately, these checks have been going very, very well, and no one's been having issues. So we're here at Tokyo South Outer Loop, where there's fun to be had. It's a really fun track. Just like all the other Tokyo tracks, it really rewards high-speed cars, and is just overall a good time to race at. If I recall, this is the right BOP around here. Let's take a lap or two. Bear with me, as I thought I was ready to take a lap or two, I didn't realize that my racing rig situation was kind of out of whack. Kind of have to move this out of the way to work during the week, and so things get a little crooked. But yeah, I think we're ready to give this a try here. It's been a while since I've been on here. Should turn my wheel on, that's important. There we go. We got Joao joining the room. Joao was already in the room, so I wonder if maybe they did get stuck. Anyway, heading down out of the pit lane. Pit lane here is weird. It's in the middle of the lap. It's not like on the start-finish straight, how you would expect in most places. Got a very fast, curvy section here that I'm not sure how to take in a GT. In one of these cars, we'll figure it out. That was... Alright, let's try this again. We can do this. We can do this. I should start practicing these laps during the week, huh? So I can give y'all the full Monty at tracks that I'm not that used to. Start doing better starting next week. Start practicing just like the racers. Or I can do what I did that one time and ask somebody on the track to show us a lap around here. Stuck check in 1 minute. Wow, that's happening quickly. Okay, so I won't be able to show you guys a lap around here. I can show you as much of one as I can. Coming down, we're about to cross the start-finish straight to start our first lap. Or, yep. Start-finish. First turn is pretty quick. You can brake pretty late for it. Oh, even later in these cars. It's got a lot of grip, a lot of downforce. It's a very fast turn. That definitely rewards downforce. As we head down this very long straight, very fast, we'll get some slipstream battle in here, trying to look for position to go into this, is this a 4 corners? Let's see, you got 1, 2, 3, and 4. This 4-corner complex here. Oh, and that is stuck check time. Let me get out of here. Let me get out of here. Oh, I can't cancel my entry. It's too late to cancel, so I'm part of the stuck check. Hopefully I don't get anyone stuck. wow. The NSX sounds great. Oh, that's good. We're gonna give it a traction control start. No one's stuck. That's good. Alright. Good stuck check. Now, can I show you guys a lap? Will I have time? It's also more for me. I just want to get on here and race a lap. How about that? Okay, are we going straight to qualifying? Let me see. Let me see. It seems like things are moving really, really quickly. This particular hour, I think maybe because we got started a little bit late. It is 2:09. So we will not get a lap around here. So sorry, folks. I'm also apologizing to myself because I really, really, really want to take a lap around here. Just one good flying lap. Alright. So quali will start in a moment, I guess. We'll have 15 minutes around here to set a fast lap time. Lost Joao again. I think it's gonna have to be a forfeiture for Joao, and I believe Joao is racing for someone else. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure who though. And Joao is back. How long will that last? And does there need to be another stuck check as a result? Could have been out here lapping this whole time. Could have been. Could have been. That's the qualifier started now. As I said, racers will have 15 minutes to set their fastest lap before the start of the race. The race starts immediately after qualifying. picking up a penalty there and opting to just start the lap over. So far in, we have Nemesis at the top of the 151.9, Twilight right behind, a little less than 2/10 behind. Then Bar with a 152.3 in third place. This is just after the one lap, so everyone is on their second flyer. I expect these times will shuffle a bit more as people get settled into the track. Some people like Ismadelic haven't set a lap yet. MOP had to start their flyer over. Tokyo also hasn't set a lap. Joao hasn't been out of the pits yet. Wondering what that's about. Are they not going to be able to qualify due to missing the stuck check? I think that's actually the case. Or not missing it, but being I don't know, they got dropped from the lobby somehow. Ismadelic with a new qualifying time that brings him to the top. It's a 150.5. Right away jumps up front there with their first flyer. Nemesis is going to have to respond. That's a 1.5 seconds faster than their time. Nemesis coming up on the start finish right now. New time, a little bit faster, 2/10 quicker, but not anywhere near Ismadelic's time of a 150.5. Nemesis still sitting at a 151.7. I wonder, is this what we can expect, or are people still just settling down? I mean, a lot of people just crossed the start finish line, and nobody got that much closer to Ismadelic's time. So I can't just say that, hey, maybe Nemesis had a bad lap. MOP in with their first time puts them in 6th place, a 153.1. Has Tokyo set a lap yet? Tokyo has set a lap just now. Brings them to 6th place. It's a 152.7. We just watched them cross the finish line, knocking MOP down to 7th at their time. Let's see what Ismadelic's up to on this next lap. They are just going through that last complex of turns. We'll call them S's. Sure, going through the S's, coming into that last left-hander. Very fast left-hander, but very narrow. I think they touched the wall a little bit there. And they're going to cross the finish line with a not faster lap. Still sitting at a 150.12. Can't change camera angle so we can see their lap, even though I already did this where I get out of this session, but here we are. Here we are on board with MOP. I'm sorry, I wanted to be on board with Ismadelic though. Alright, well, Nemesis just set a lap. Let's go on board with Nemesis. That was turn 1, fast turn 1 right there. Nemesis getting a little bit closer to Ismadelic with their last time. It's now a 7/10 gap. Nemesis down that long stretch before the 3 right-handers. Hard on the brakes. You want to be careful around here. You don't want to go too wide. You want to hit your apexes. Vlave sitting in the way there. Is that going to affect Nemesis's? Is that going to affect their time? Up, Nemesis with a penalty anyway. Gonna have to back off of Vlave. They must have cut that corner. Well, I guess we're not getting a full lap here either. I would, with that penalty, I would have probably started that lap over. One of the benefits of having pit lane being in the middle of this track is that your out laps are super short. You See, they're less than 40 seconds. Look at that lap 1 here on Samuel, who, by the way, has got themselves up to 3rd place with a 1:51.4 on that last lap. That's why I switched to them. But anyway, Samuel's coming up on the hairpin where you can see the entrance to pit lane is right there. And that is in the middle of your lap. But it also means the outlap is quick. So if you end up with a penalty or some other thing that messes up your qualifying lap, it's usually worth it to go ahead and just start over. You have only 40 seconds before you're on a flyer again. Barr improving their time to a 1:52, gets up to 5th place. And let's see what this lap becomes for Samuel, because it's looking pretty quick from the little bit that we've seen. Samuel, yes, going to go up to 2nd with a 1:50.9. Let's watch this lap. Turn 1, quick. Doesn't get on the brakes, just kind of lifts. Might be quicker. If you lift earlier, get on the brakes earlier, either way, it might be quicker to drive out of that instead of being off the throttle until you're all the way out of the corner. But what do I know? Hard on the brakes, 3-turn complex. This spot is really fun when you are battling, or if there's just a whole crowd of cars. It's interesting to see how people make their passes here. Usually a lot of changes in position occur right there. Sometimes clean, sometimes not. Into one of my favorite corners on this track, and a difficult corner, as you saw Samuel hitting that wall back there on the outside. It's a very quick corner, but it will catch you out once you hit the outside of it, because it doesn't open up the way you think it would. This section right here, all full throttle. As long as you do it right, you might get away with being on the wrong line in a GR2 car, just because of the downforce. But in a GR3, you want to be on the right line around here to get full throttle, and then you're hard on the brakes for this hairpin. Pit lane right there, tight in the hairpin. Try to get on the throttle as soon as you can get that car somewhat straight. Samuel doing a good job using the entirety of the track right there in that hairpin. Coming into the final S's. Barr up to 4th place with their new quali time. Knocks Twilight down to 5th. And Samuel, whipping around that last turn. Let's get that GTR to go. Let's see, what is this lap time? New lap time, not quicker. In fact, it's 3/10 slower than their quickest. Tokyo, new qualifying time, gets them up to 7th place. MOP also up to 5th place now in the Lexus. MOP usually, or oftentimes, a late bloomer in quali. MOP needs a little bit of warm up with that Lexus usually to get up there, but that's top 5 so far. Ismandelic, Samuel, Nemesis in 3rd, Barr and MOP. Twilight in the pits, just kind of chilling. Don't know if they have to be AFK or if they're happy with their quali. In 6th place there, we can't see their time board, so I can't see what their laps were looking like. Blave has been chilling in 7th place and hasn't hit their fastest lap way back on lap 3. They're currently on lap 7. Trying to get those times to fall, but it looks like it hasn't happened in the last 3 laps. Maybe this will be the one. Tokyo, meanwhile, back on an outlap. And Joao not qualifying. Like we said, most likely due to that disconnection. Nemesis goes faster with a 150.9. So does Vlave with a 51.9. It doesn't bring Vlave up another spot, unfortunately. Nemesis also stays in 3rd, but is just a little bit closer to the top time of Ismandelic there, that 150.5. Nemesis a little over 4/10, or a little less than 5/10 slower. Half a second is still a big deal over a lap, but the GTR is definitely a straight line car, very fast in a straight line rather compared to some of the other cars. But the GTRs and the NSX are usually on very different pit strategies, so we'll see how pit strat plays out as far as track position goes this race. Still half a second back from the leader for the fastest NSX in the race. It's not looking really, really good for that car. Minute 30 left in regulation. If there are people still on a fast lap, once that minute 30 is left, the game will usually add some finishing time to let people finish their final lap. You can see a couple people have parked at Tokyo Twilight. Just gonna look to the race. They're done with quali. Good time to just sit in your room quietly, hands in your lap, reflecting on what that race is going to look like and what you're going to do and how much fun you're going to have. Because guess what? At the end of the day, it's still virtual racing and you get to have a ton of fun without worrying about tires, the cost of getting the team out there to the track, wear and tear on the car, no wrecks. At the end of the day, this is all about just having a good time. Samuel looking good in that basic GTR livery we saw last time. Is that Isma? That is Isma, our number 1. Parked 1 Ismadelic in number 1 spot. Isma also, ironically, got their fastest lap on lap 2. Their very first lap out was their quickest lap. They never did improve. That bar was set. No one else met it, but it was set very early on. Samuel, with a last-minute plunge, takes first place by 9 thousandths over Ismadelic. Ismadelic, I believe, is this going to... No, it doesn't extend the time. I didn't think it would. But, wow. The very last minute, Samuel comes in with a 150.5. which is the closest they've gotten. The closest they've gotten before was a 150.9. So Samuel finding 4/10 out of nowhere there to come in the first place. So they will share the front row with Ismadelic, but have track position over Ismadelic into the first turn, I believe. I think Samuel's gonna get to start in first, or start on the left. Cars are all lined up, ready for their rolling start. Slow roll past turn 1 before the green. just might actually cross the start finish. Nope, you don't cross it before it's green, but yeah, it turns green right at it pretty much. Right there. And they're off. Nobody stuck, that's good, despite Joao's disconnection there. However, I don't see Joao. There they are, okay. Joao is stuck, or just somehow managed to... Joao is stuck. Joao has the pit glitch, except not in the pits. Meanwhile, everyone through turn 1 okay, headed into that 3, that triple right-hander. The order stays the same. Samuel, Ismadelic, Nemesis following each other through there. The mid-pack coming through right behind them. Everyone in single file. Nobody jockeying for position just yet around there. Tires are cold, so... people are going to take a little bit easy. Just don't make any mistakes. You don't want to lose this train at this track. Again, this is just like all the other Tokyo tracks, a track that really rewards high speed. And just like the inner and outer loops, Nemesis going for a pass on Bar here after Bar went for a pass on them. But anyway, just like the other Tokyo tracks, you want to be in that slipstream train. Joao has left, given up, unable to stay connected to the rest of the field, period. Just network issues for Joao, unfortunately. Meanwhile, folks still holding strong, still no position changes yet as they round the last corner headed towards the front straight. Samuel has the biggest target on their back, having taken this position away from Ismadelic very, very, very late into qualifying. I believe there was a minute and a half, minute 45 left when it happened. Ismadelic pulling alongside and has position going into the triple right-hander, and they're up ahead by a nose here. Are they going to keep the position and go a little wide? Samuel anticipated them going a little wide, so Samuel goes inside of them, and Samuel's able to keep the position. Well done there. Good respectful racing by these two. Nemesis popping the head out, going into this very quick, very tricky corner if you're in dirty air. So Nemesis and Bar, out of anybody, would have had it hardest coming into that corner, but they do okay. Meanwhile, separation of the pack is happening. It's happening quickly. Twilight all by themselves in 5th place. Maybe trying to catch that top 4. Slave, meanwhile, leading their own little parade between themselves and Tokyo. MOP, something must have happened. MOP way down in 8th place by a lot. Tokyo and Flav going side by side in the hairpin. Seems fast. These two already kind of coming for each other here. Meanwhile, back with the top 4. No real drama. Still tucked in behind Samuel. It's kind of hard to get it up. Is that a touch between Bar and Nemesis? I'm not sure what happened there. That seemed a little bit iffy there. These are the places in the track where you'll see more passing happen. These first few turns, these really fast, slipstreamy parts of the track. That the back half is kind of it's hard to pass. It's also very high speed, but even though it looks pretty straight, it's just I don't know how to explain it. Passes don't happen very often back there on that back not so straight. Ismadelic this time not making a move, just a little bit too far from Samuel to try to make a move into that triple complex. I think Isma realized maybe that first lap was kind of their only chance. Right there. Meanwhile, the top 3 have lost Bar. Bar in 5th place. Twilight had taken 4th, but Twilight with a penalty they had to serve there. So Bar takes 4th again. However, now Bar is 1.7, almost 1.8 seconds back. Oh, actually it's climbing. It is about to be 2 seconds back from the top 3. Probably kicking themselves for losing that train. Let's see if Bar and Twilight work together. It doesn't look like they're going to. Twilight shoving their way inside towards the hairpin. Twilight thinks they can catch that top 3 without Bar's help. We'll see. Meanwhile, MOP still all alone in the back. Tokyo kind of alone in 7th, but not that far off from Vlave. Vlave in view, actually, both Vlave, Bar, and Twilight all in view of Tokyo here. So the mid-pack still kind of going strong. The mid/backpack, I mean, it's kind of a small field, 8 drivers, 8 cars, so can't really call it a mid-pack. There's no backpack. It's MOP alone in the back. Top 3 racers still just in a train. Mostly behaving. Isma pokes a nose there, but I don't know that Isma actually intended to try to make a move on Samuel. Just maybe has a lot of speed through the slipstream, just trying to get separation. Top 3 just hopefully hoping to find a rhythm to increase that gap to 4th there. That gap 2.3 seconds right now. Let's see. Isma up ahead of Samuel for a little bit here. Going into the hairpin, 2 and 3 wide. Hard to tell if Isma is trying to put pressure on Samuel or if it's just, you know, just being in the slipstream and just trying to not overshoot Samuel in some corners. Meanwhile, that gap is up to 3.7 seconds back to Twilight. Twilight having a Bar to worry about, though they could be working together here to try to create a little bit more separation between themselves and Vlave. And Tokyo right up on Vlave now. Touch the wall a little bit there. They're going to lose some time to Vlave. You can see that time, that gap increasing. Meanwhile, Bar and Twilight into the triple right-hander. Bar goes ahead of Twilight on the outside. Very clean pass there. Wonder if Twilight didn't just go ahead and let that go. Top 3 still doing their thing. Nemesis a little bit separated from those GTRs, but I don't expect that gap to last too long. Bar getting a lot of separation from Twilight after the triple right-hander, going into this straight here. About a second gap back to Twilight. Still 3.5 to the top 3, but they can still see the top 3, which is definitely motivation. What you don't want is for somebody ahead of you to completely disappear. That's pretty discouraging when that happens, but if you can see them, you got something to reach for. Vlave, meanwhile, completely free of Tokyo, who is a full 3 seconds back. Something must have happened there. That whole back section is full of opportunities to hit a wall due to dirty air. Tokyo actually almost falling prey to MOP here. I wonder if this will develop into some sort of battle. MOP did have the quicker lap time. In quali, they had a 5th place qualifying time compared to Tokyo's, I believe Tokyo qualified in 8th. Meanwhile, Nemesis right back up to 1st and 2nd, as expected. 6 laps into 30 up. Samuel losing the rear a little bit. Just a little bit of drama, not that big a deal. 6 laps into 30, we are starting to approach the 1/3 mark. 10 laps being a third of the way through. We'll start to see what kind of racetrack people are on, if we're doing 2 stoppers or 1 stoppers around here. Bar 5.3, 5.5 seconds from Nemesis. I don't think that gap's coming down. It's just getting bigger and bigger every time we check. So I would say that this is what we can call our mid-pack now. Bar, Twilight, and Flav fighting over 4th, 5th, and 6th. Tokyo and MOP hanging out in back. MOP could be on a fuel-saving strategy. And I say that only because their on-track speed just doesn't seem to be matching what we saw in qualifying, which indicates to me that maybe they are saving fuel in some way, maybe anticipating gaining in a pit stop or something. We'll see. We'll see what happens when people start to pit. Nemesis in 1st place coming into the start of this lap. Probably not too much drama in that pass. Everybody's still kind of lined up right behind them, right behind Nemesis here. Let's see how this works out. Let's see if the GTRs are going to be content to just follow and save fuel, or if they're going to want to get the NSX out of the way. I doubt it. So far, everything's been pretty copacetic, pretty cooperative between these 3. I think Nemesis just maybe had a run on the 2. Nemesis with a penalty. I did see that cut. I wasn't sure if it was going to penalize them, and it does. So Nemesis probably right here is going to have to pull out and take that penalty. Yep, that's what they're doing. Going to tuck right back in behind Samuel. That's okay. Not none too worse for the wear. Though Isma kind of had a run on them, and Nemesis is a little bit slow coming out of that slow penalty. Isma not going to give a bump draft. Shouldn't matter that much. Nemesis will probably have no problem catching Samuel in a slipstream or something. They're not that far behind, just 1 second. And if it does become an issue, then Ismadelic will probably just work to make the pass. Or Nemesis may let them make the pass just to get the toe. Anyway, I'm over here thinking about how I would do this. How I would close that 1 second gap. Back to our mid-pack. Looking pretty drama-free between these 3. Twilight with a 1.5 second gap back to Bar. So Bar's got a little bit of separation between themselves and these 2. Flav, meanwhile, chilling right behind Twilight. Let's see what's going on with Tokyo and MOP. MOP a little bit closer to Tokyo, but kind of keeping their distance. I wonder, like I said, I think maybe they are just fuel saving. Toe up the track here. Probably taking good advantage of that. Lap 8. Samuel leads. Nemesis in 2nd. 1.2 seconds back. Isma right behind Nemesis. As they make their way through that triple right-hander into this 90-degree right. This soft little on-ramp that I love so much. I really love Polyphony Digital's Tokyo highway tracks. I think they are some of the best original tracks out here. Because let's be honest, if you have good freeways around you, who hasn't fantasized about racing on them? And the way Polyphony puts these tracks together is really great, really fun. You see a good mixture of freeway and street, surface road, The pit lane is inside of a parking garage. And exiting pit lane gets you right into an on-ramp here to enter the freeway again. So far, nobody pitting. You don't want to see any of this stuff, so please stop showing it to me. There we go. Well, I do want to see that. There we go. Twilight in 4th place. Something must have happened to Bar. Bar with a 1.3 second penalty on top of whatever happened to lose them the position. They are going to have to take that. They should be taking it right now on this straight. I don't know if they're going to wait till the end of it to try and get rid of it. No, Bar's still carrying that penalty, and that is only going to penalize them further, because you have to take your penalties at the next available straight or the safest place where it's safe to do so. With as big a penalty as that, Bar probably didn't want to lose position with the pack, but it's going to have to happen regardless. Depends on what happened as well. You know, maybe they felt like they shouldn't have to take that penalty. Flav, very, very slow. Both Tokyo and MOP getting past Flav here. What happened there? Or was it Flav who needed to take the penalty? I don't know. Either way, our leader into the pits and already back out. Looks like it was tires only. It must have been to be that quick. MOP in, Flav in, Bar in, MOP with, yeah, a bit more fuel than everybody else. Unfortunately, they didn't have the luxury of a slipstream, but they do hop out ahead of Flav and Bar, taking just tires. Nemesis, meanwhile, Nemesis and Ismadelic did not pit up front. Samuel going ahead and grabbing their tires. It's like it's tires only for most people here. So a 2-stopper at least for Samuel. It's in the cards. MOP, Flav, and Bar as well, going for 2-stoppers most likely. Tokyo will probably follow whatever pit strategy Twilight and Nemesis are on. The NSXs seem to be on a different pit strat than all the other cars in the races that I've commentated on so far. Meanwhile, Isma and Nemesis heading down that very, very fast, not quite straight, but still full throttle section towards the hairpin and towards pit lane. I expect Isma will probably pit here. A little bit of back and forth between them. But Nemesis, not sure what the NSX car drivers are doing. Isma is pitting. Isma pops into pit lane, into that parking garage there. You see the cars parked along the outside. Pit setups on the inside. Isma is taking fuel. Fuels the car up a little bit, up to 73. So that's going to put them behind both Samuel and Nemesis for a little bit. I'm not sure if Nemesis will take fuel when they pit, but Samuel, I believe, took just tires. We can cheat and look. So we cheat and look. I'm going to cheat and look. Yep, Samuel under 50% with the fuel, so did not take fuel there. Samuel putting together their fastest lap just then with a 52.4, but Nemesis has the quickest lap of the race so far with a 152.1. In no small measure due to the slipstream they received. Was that sentence right? That sentence felt wrong. I'm not even gonna try to fix it. Tokyo, meanwhile, in 4th place right now, but Tokyo does owe a pit stop, as do all the NSX drivers, so Isma will take that position and adopt 4th. Twilight not too far ahead of them, so they'll probably adopt 3rd as well, but will still be very, very far behind Samuel, even further behind Nemesis, but Nemesis, of course, has to stop at some point here. And still no pit from the leader in the NSX. Twilight will also skip over the pits. Isma takes 4th from Tokyo. Tokyo skips the pits as well. I would imagine the tires on the NSX not being that great, so Isma probably got that pass pretty easily with their fresh rubber. MOP, meanwhile, in that lazy revving V8, you heard it shift probably somewhere around 5,000 RPM, or okay, it's not that bad. It's not a diesel, but it doesn't rev that high. Just driving along their fellow Lexus mate Vlave, just behind, having pitted at the same time. Bar, meanwhile, coming in, bringing up the rear in the GTR, having had some sort of bad luck that we couldn't really ascertain. I couldn't figure out what exactly had happened there between Bar, or what happened to Bar, but Twilight had taken the position from them by a lot right before everyone started jumping into the pits. Twilight, meanwhile, has an Ismadelic in their mirrors. Twilight picking up a half-second penalty for a cut. Isma coming up quick. Twilight takes the penalty. Isma will easily go ahead and grab 3rd place there. Twilight's going to tuck in for the ride. I imagine that it wouldn't have been that hard for Isma to get the position even without the penalty. Twilight's tires aren't going to be at their best, just like they were for Tokyo. Meanwhile, up front, Samuel 1.8 seconds behind Nemesis, so Samuel will inherit 1st place once Nemesis jumps into the pits. Isma a further 12 seconds behind that. Twilight jumping in to the pits. I don't think Nemesis did. I think Nemesis is still out on those same tires. I could be wrong though. Samuel is pretty close, but I don't remember what the gap was between those two. Let's cheat and look. Let's cheat and look. Why not? No, Nemesis is not pitted. Samuel has just caught up. That's one Nemesis. That's one NSX in, rather. That's one Nemesis in the pits, but not really. Tokyo also not pitting. So it was Twilight alone who broke the dam for the NSX cars, and that pit stop put them in last place. So it doesn't look to me like it was much of an advantage. Twilight being 39 seconds behind Nemesis, so I think even if Nemesis takes a little bit of fuel, they may still come out ahead of Twilight in the pits. It's not a very long pit stop at all. Tokyo with a crash. Not gonna be happy about that. Brings Bar just a little bit closer. Yep, Nemesis or Tokyo just coming out of that triple right-hander. Bar navigating through it now with Twilight in tow. So Tokyo's gonna have to pit and is probably going to lose 2 positions where they would have maybe only lost 1 without that crash. Vlave, meanwhile, still behind MOP, a little bit further behind MOP, in fact, 1.8 seconds. They were once solidly in the slipstream. Now they're gonna have to fight to get back into it. Isma solidly in 3rd, very far away from the 4th place MOP, about 10 seconds that gap. But Isma with a 12-second gap to Samuel. Tokyo's in the pits. Tokyo taking tires. Tokyo also taking fuel. And NSX looks great. Really, really, really love a 6-spoke wheel. Japanese race cars rocking them the best. The center lock 6-spoke wheel, classic. Just also a good fat 5-spoke. Volk makes some great ones. The ones on the Mazda. What was the Mazda Le Mans car? Anyway, those are some of my faves. Meanwhile, Samuel is up to Nemesis. Is right up on them. Nemesis wagging the tail out. It's gonna hang on to that position. Probably gonna slow Samuel down a little bit. Not the wrong thing to do, as Nemesis is fighting for position, regardless of the fact that they owe a pit stop. They are still fighting for a podium spot, and slowing down the leader apparent by defending is only going to help. When Nemesis pits, they may come out in traffic. So they want to cause some traffic for Samuel. Nemesis staying out, still staying out. Nemesis is gonna, nope, sorry, Nemesis is in, sorry. That line looked like they weren't gonna pit, but they go ahead and pit. They're gonna take the tires and fuel. We're gonna see where they come out. And if they come out in traffic, they're gonna be happy that they slowed Samuel down a little bit. We've got a few people coming through the hairpin right now. Vlave and MOP coming through right now. Nemesis still fueling. Nemesis comes out behind MOP and just ahead of Vlave, but Vlave is gonna squeeze ahead. So yes, Nemesis comes out in traffic. Gonna have to fight their way past the 2 Lexi. That is everyone having pitted though. So Nemesis on a 1-stop strategy. Pitting on lap 15. So I wonder if Twilight is going to be on a similar, I mean, Twilight pitted, what was it, lap 13? I think for Twilight. No, lap 12 was their in-lap. So just wondering what Twilight's strat is. Nemesis, meanwhile, just right on top of Vlave from the jump. No time to waste. Gotta get this position. Vlave defending, going to the inside for the triple right-hander. Are they too far inside? No, Nemesis not able to tuck in. Not able to tuck inside, tuck in up under Vlave there. Gonna have to keep on fighting. Meanwhile, Samuel running those clean laps, 10 seconds ahead of anybody up front. They'll be happy with their situation right now. Just quick laps. Isma, same situation. Quick laps, clean laps. Doesn't have anyone in front after passing the 2 NSX drivers. And Isma took fuel. So Samuel may have to pit before Isma. And yeah, so we may see Samuel in the lead in the second pit window here. These 2, I believe, pitted around lap 10, so we should start to see them coming in around lap 20 to finish it off. And Isma presumably will have to take either no fuel or very little fuel during that stop. Nemesis, meanwhile, has gotten past Vlave. Gonna start looking at MOP. They're 2.2 seconds behind MOP. I expect that gap to start closing real quick. Bar racing alone. Tokyo racing alone. Twilight out. Something happened to Twilight. So we've lost an NSX. Looks like a disconnect there. Oof. They're not going to be happy with that. Twilight was running pretty solidly in 4th and 5th. Would have been good points there. And now they'll get none. Hi, Jorge. Yep, Isma's doing very well. MOP. Got an NSX in that rearview mirror. Isma running all alone, like we said before, just getting out some fast laps here. Their fastest lap, recent fastest lap rather, a 1:52. That is their fastest lap of the race. Samuel, meanwhile, hasn't had a very, very quick one since lap 11 with a 1:51. But since then, it's been 52s and 53s. So Isma currently running quicker with solid 52s behind Samuel. So that gap should be falling, on top of the fact that Isma is not going to need as much fuel as Sam does when they pit in 4 laps. Means we may see a swap for first. It's going to make the race really, really interesting. Nemesis, of course, will not pit at all when these two jump in. Nemesis on a one-stop strategy, so I'm expecting us to see a pretty good fight for podium positions in the end of this. Let's just have no HUD. I wish I could get rid of the driver name. I don't remember how to do that. Actually, is it? That doesn't do anything. There we go. Now it's TV. To Isma. Just looking good, taking real nice lines, hustling that GTR around. Nemesis has gotten past MOP, now running away from the Lexus driver. Blade taking that turn a little bit slow. You saw they didn't even track halfway out on the outside, which means could have carried a lot more speed through there. You want that thing careening towards the wall on street tracks. Basically, you want to run off. You want to get very, very close to that wall. You want your mirrors to kiss, basically, the wall. And that's how you know you are taking full advantage of the space given to you. Make that car go quick. Though there are some spaces that are just dirty, like you see happening to Tokyo right there. Tokyo going way far outside in the triple right-hander. Now out there, that is one place where you don't want to go out to the wall. You see tire marbles out there. It's dirty, it's very slippery, and Tokyo lost it right in front of us going into it. See the marbles on the track here as well. Anytime you see that, that's an indicator that that is outside of the racing line, and it's going to be dusty and it's going to be slippery, and you're going to pay for it. Even if it doesn't spin you, it'll definitely slow you down because you'll have less grip. Meanwhile, Samuel still chilling. Wait a minute, sorry, Samuel in the pits. That's Isma up front. Samuel having pitted or something, let's see. Yep, Samuel pitted, took fuel and tires. It is lap 19. I guess Samuel looking to undercut maybe. Tokyo in the pits now. Not sure why. Tokyo pitted recently. I think maybe they are just sitting it out at this point. Twilight jumping into the chat, the Discord chat, to say that they are not feeling great. Their body wanted to doze off and kept making mistakes, so they left. In any case, we now have a little bit of a battle between Samuel and Nemesis. Samuel with the fresher car, but Nemesis right up on them, going outside of them towards the hairpin. I think all thoughts of cooperation are out the window here. Nemesis out in those marbles around the hairpin. Not advantageous, but I don't think there was a pass to be made there anyway. Meanwhile, MOP is in, Vlave is in. These two in for their final stops of the race. Both of them on the just like the GTRs. Isma will owe a pit stop still, but Isma may be able to just tuck in without taking fuel. So how well that works for them, like whether or not they come out ahead of Samuel, is going to depend on Samuel having clean laps here, which may be easier said than done if Nemesis is able to keep up and keep harrowing them. But right now, Samuel's got that gap up to about a second, so it may be, I may be making a moot point if Nemesis can't get up there and have Samuel, force Samuel to get into some defensive lines, which aren't fast. There's a chance that Sam could sneak up on Isma and get him. Not sure how quick a pit stop is around here. Wasn't paying attention to the timer when people jumped in. But guys, this is one to watch. This gap between Isma and Samuel, holding at 11.3 seconds, is one to watch here, because I think the pit stop with just tires is, I feel like it's around 10 seconds. We'll see how wrong I am. Isma in. No timer coming up for us here. Samuel and Nemesis are past though, so Isma not quick enough. I think they took fuel. They did take some fuel, and I think that's what stopped them. If it was a tires only stop, they would have come out a lot closer to Samuel and Nemesis, if not ahead of them. Bar into the pits. Bar sitting in 5th place here. A couple people passing right now, passing through the hairpin. MOP and Vlave go past, so Bar will stay in last place for the final stint of the race. Tokyo back out. Tokyo had to AFK real quick. Tokyo coming back out to finish out the race. Meanwhile, Samuel's gap to Nemesis, 2.5 seconds. So Samuel off and away. And we know Samuel's capable of running some very quick laps. Isma also capable of carrying quick laps, but we have 9 laps left, and that gap is 4.5 seconds. And Isma's gonna have to get past Nemesis before they even have a chance at Samuel. And I'm sorry, the gap to Nemesis is 4.5 seconds. Isma's gap to Samuel is 7 seconds. So I don't think that Isma's got a real chance at first place here anymore. It's a little bit disappointing how those pit stops played out for us, the viewer, not for the drivers. But kind of wanted to see a big battle between these folks. Meanwhile, around the rest of the track, no one is really close to anyone else. I can't say that we have any battles going on in the track here, but we do have quite a bit of race left. You know, it's I say that the pit stops coming out are disappointing because people are far from one another, but we still have 8 laps to go, so let's see what happens. I'm sorry, 9 laps to go. Mid-pack, finishing up lap 21. This track has got some great camera angles around it. Tokyo drifting the NSX around the first 2 of the triple right-hander. That's funny. But yeah, this track's got some really great camera angles. I love watching races around here. Just because it gets your car looking real good. We shouldn't expect any more pit stops. We don't have any real battles currently on track, so I guess we'll just keep the camera on someone. Let's keep it on Nemesis and Isma here. Isma coming up on Nemesis, who at last check, the Nemesis tires were suffering. Those fronts were pretty done. I expect Isma will catch up quickly here. Isma's coming up fast. Let's check on the rest of the race real quick before we come back to these two to see how this pass happens. MOP working off a penalty, it seems. We don't have a HUD, so we can't tell, and I'm not turning it on. Alright, no real drama. Isma coming up fast in Nemesis rear view mirror here. Let's see how hard Nemesis, let's see how hard they fight to try to keep this position here. There's a lot of racing left. It'd be a lot of fighting to do with dead tires, so I don't think they'll put up too much of a fight. The one-stop strat just didn't seem very rewarding at all, which makes sense. This is a track where the pit stop is not long at all. The pit lane is very, very short. You are hopping into a parking garage, you turn the corner, and boom, you're in your box. In fact, Polyphony Digital didn't even bother creating a large garage with many, many pit boxes. There are just a few there. everyone pretty much jumping into the same box at the same time virtually. So, you know, trying to limit the amount of time that you spend in the pits, not really a big strategic factor in this particular race on this particular track. You know, that's something you'd worry about more on a track with a very long pit lane, something like Le Mans, something like the Nürburgring, you know, where it is a good 90-second pit delta, you know, minute and a half there. If you can save yourself that, that's a big deal. These two sideways through the hairpin, both of them just a bit squirrely. Nemesis is going to put up a little bit of a fight, give us a little bit of a show here. I'm gonna have a little less grip going through the S's, but it's really hard to pass in the S's, so there's nothing ISMA can really do, despite the fact that they're clearly quicker through there. Nemesis really able to make that NSX quite wide through there, as S's tend to do. Coming through turn 1, they're gonna head towards the not quite straight down to the triple right-hander, where I expect MOP will be able to outbrake Nemesis. Even if Nemesis goes defensive, I don't see MOP not being able to outbrake them and taking the pass on the outside anyway. So I think this is it right here. Nope. ISMA not making a move. Nemesis a little bit sideways through there. NSX being quite mid-engine through there. And still hangs on to it. Sorry, my sound is cutting out quite a bit. The pass there, ISMA gets it finally. But it's not quite theirs yet. Nemesis still fighting, gets up ahead of ISMA for the hairpin. ISMA taking a very wide line through there, gonna try to undercut Nemesis. Do they get it? Not quite. Nemesis able to hold on to it despite getting squirrely on the outside. ISMA with the right idea there, just couldn't quite tuck it in. The NSX having a little bit more grip than they thought maybe. But this right here is some good defending. It's clean defending. ISMA is just not able to get around the Honda. And, you know, despite the fact that they have the fresher car, the faster lap time, fresher tires, Nemesis could just hang on here until ISMA makes a big mistake. It's very easy when you're battling to make a mistake. If ISMA puts it into a wall or spins it, Nemesis gets to keep that position for free. So I was wrong. Nemesis putting up quite a fight, not letting the GTR have an inch. You see Nemesis taking a very tight line through the triple right-hander, making sure to hit every apex, round off them corners as much as they can safely allow, just to maintain speed and maintain momentum while still not letting another car tuck in there. Good job to do that. A little bit wide through the right-hander here. ISMA is probably going to try to get a pass off through here, but this is a very, very fast section. There's not a lot of room to get off the line, to get off the right line here and stay full throttle, which is what you need to get through it quickly. So Nemesis quickly tucking in to go defensive into the hairpin again. Keeps it tight early on the brakes. ISMA doing a little bit better with the undercut there. Doesn't quite get it. But they did have a tighter line through there. I wonder if that's going to start working in the next couple of laps or so. Nemesis having to use a lot of the track just to maintain momentum and get through that hairpin. I wonder if Nemesis is going to have to try keeping it defensive even to the outside of that corner, just to keep ISMA from jumping in there, from getting the over-under there. into the last turn. This battle's still going. Four laps left. Let's see, what's everyone else up to? Hopefully we don't miss anything. Nothing, 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 nothing. All right, back to our battle. If I'm Isma, I'm gonna start being real patient right here. You still got 4 laps left. You have clearly got you've got a faster car up under you. I'd stay with the NSX until press the issue when the tires are really, really, really going to prevent Nemesis from defending all that well. I'd save my own tires for that final lap or 2 battle. Doesn't look like NSX is... I keep calling Nemesis NSX. It doesn't look like Nemesis is letting it go easy at all. So at this point, if I'm Isma and I've been paying attention to the pit stops, I'm gonna start slowing down and reassessing the situation. Maybe letting Nemesis get a little more wear into those tires. Though the NSX is only going to get lighter as that happens. So will Nemesis hit that point of diminishing returns where the lightness of the car can offset how worn the tires are before the end of this race? We gonna see. Meanwhile, Samuel, enjoying freedom, doesn't have to do anything but bring the car home at this point. They don't even have to drive fast at this point. Just keep the lap time decent, don't take any risks, bring it home. Nemesis still defending into the triple right-hander, but Isma is able to tuck in on the last of those corners and get the position on Nemesis. We just saw that happen right here. Let's rewatch that. Nemesis defending, but if you look at Isma's right there on that second corner, just tucks it right in and immediately gets that pass on Nemesis very easily. Nemesis, meanwhile, loses the rear end, gets it into a wall, so any chance to fight back probably gone at this point. Nemesis is not going to be able to keep up the lap time to keep up with Isma at this point. So that is Isma in second place, Nemesis in third. A really good fight between them, a really good battle. Just unfortunately, Nemesis kind of losing out in the end there. Just not able to keep it tight into the triple right-hander anymore. And that let Isma get right in there. Isma, meanwhile, 10 seconds behind Samuel. There's not a chance there, I don't think. Unless Samuel makes a huge mistake, knock on wood, commentator's curse happening again. I already did this last week. But Isma inherits second and has it by 4 seconds already. Again, Nemesis obviously getting into the wall after the pass happened there, probably just trying to get on the throttle a little bit quicker. They saw Isma to make that pass. I would have probably made a similar mistake. You know, Isma getting the run on me coming out of that second corner, I would have tried to put the hammer down and just lost the rear end there. Blaze, meanwhile, running in 4th place. Blaze having a very drama-free race. We haven't seen much out of them outside of some early lapping around with, I wouldn't even call it battling, I guess sort of a battle with Bar, Twilight. Vlave hasn't had a whole lot happen to them, and they haven't done a lot to other people. Just a solid race. I feel like that's the case almost every week. Bar, meanwhile, up to 5th. So something happened to MOP. Not sure what happened. Maybe just a, I don't know, big mistake. You can see lap, what lap is that? Lap 26 is a 59 when they've been running 55s and 56s. So I'm guessing that either a penalty happened or they hit a wall or something and that messed them up. Tokyo, though, having sat in pit lane for a very long time, is laps behind, so that's not a factor for MOP. MOP pretty solidly in 6th place here. Samuel crosses the line, puts us on our final lap. It's easy, taking it home. Isma with a 1.5 second penalty. That's a penalty to get all by yourself. I don't think you can get that from cutting. I don't know if maybe Samuel hit a wall or something. I don't know how you get a 1.5 seconds all by yourself, but there may be one corner with a harsher penalty than others. But they should probably take that now. Yep, you see them go transparent as they slow down. I really wish my stream looked better. Let's pad some low, high latency, low upload speed for pretty much the whole stream, and it's bothering me now. Now, on lap 30. Samuel into the last turn. Gonna cross the line as our winner. See the checkered flag waving for them. Samuel takes the checker in 1st place. Very good race for them. Very, very good. Coming in at the last minute. Literally, pretty much in the last minute of qualifying, the last couple minutes to take 1st place. Qualify there, and they have pretty much stayed the leader for the duration. The only time they weren't the leader was when cars ahead of them owed a pit stop. Other than that, Samuel in the lead. Nemesis led for a little bit there, with Samuel following closely behind in 2nd, as the top 3 kind of just slipstreamed with each other and ran away from the pack. Isma takes 2nd place, Nemesis in 3rd. These 3 were up front pretty much the entire race. Vlave inherits 4th place. We lost a couple of racers. We lost Twilight. Bar sitting in 5th behind Vlave. Bar also was battling for 4th at some point, but since having a mishap, didn't quite get back up there. MOP in 6th. Tokyo coming in 2 laps down in 7th. I think Tokyo had to go away. They sat in the pits for a couple of laps. Samuel, pole position and the victory. A good win for England. I don't know if Samuel's from England. We'll just say Britain. A really good race, really good battle that we got to watch there between Nemesis and Ismadelic. It would have been nice to see if Nemesis would be able to hold on to that position for the duration of the race, but they did a really good job to hold off the GTR for 2 to 3 laps there. Good job to you, Nemesis. But doing great. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here. Good race to everyone. Well done to Samuel. Well done to Nemesis and Ismadelic for putting on a show for us as well. Y'all have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow for the final round of the GR3 championship, so don't miss that. That starts, lobby opens at 2:30. 2 or 2:30? Let me double check for you guys, because I'll be there when the lobby opens. That is 220 to 230. So we'll call it 230. See y'all tomorrow. Bye.